losing 100 plus points on the SAT math section, most students don't know that they're making these errors and it's costing them in the long run. Today, I'm going to talk about the top 5 errors that students make on the math section of the SAT that hinders them from getting that 1400 or higher on the SAT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so that we can go through them together. And so in us going through them together, I'm going to talk a little bit about them, but based on experience. But of course, I'm going to be listing them in reverse order. So I'm going to start with number 5. So number 5 on our list, or on my list rather, that's going to be not reviewing. And also couple this with saying not guessing strategically, right? And so what do we mean? So we do understand that on the SAT, right? You are crunched for time. I totally get it, right? But at the end of the day, you want to pace yourself in such a way that you are able to review. And even if it's not reviewing at the end of the exam section or the end of the module, you can review the question itself, right? And if there are questions that you just totally don't get, that is totally fine. You're not going to probably understand every single thing on the SAT, but it's going to be important for you to be able to guess strategically. And this is one of the methods that we teach our students when we do SAT prep. When it comes to guessing, it's going to be important that you first eliminate answers that you're certain is not correct, because when you eliminate that, it increases your chance of getting the questions correct. So coming in at number 5, not reviewing or not guessing strategically, that's what's hindering students from doing well on the SAT. Now, number 4 for me, and of course, these are based on my research and what experience has shown. Number 4 is poor time management. And of course, it goes hand in hand, well, a little bit with the number 5, right? Poor time management. So I know students, and to be honest, I used to be that student, right? Where you want to make sure you are working, you have a system going, and you want to make sure you answer everything in order, or you want to make sure you give everything your best shot. No, not on the SAT. The SAT is time crunched. So what I tell students is when you're doing the SAT, if you read the question once or twice and you have no idea what's going on, move on. Move on and come back. Chances are whatever will come back fresh in your mind if it should, or you will be able to guess strategically, but move on. Don't spend too long on a question, because a lot of times what happens with students is they run out of time, right? And they don't even see some of the questions. Sometimes you have easy questions at the back. And so they don't get to those easy questions because they're so bent up about the first few questions and they wasted all their time trying to figure that out. So poor time management comes in at number 4. And so you want to make sure you're pacing yourself well on the SAT so that you're able to at least get to the end of the module and see all of the questions. So number three. So number 3 is going to be you skipping steps, right? And to be honest with you, this is really up in the air type of thing. Because, how do I put this? We have a lot of brilliant students, who we prep, and they love to do mental math. But let me tell you about mental math, right? When it comes to mental math, sometimes what happens is, you do mental math or you do it in your head, right? So when you do mental math in your head, a lot of times you skip steps. And so when skipping steps, that is going to hinder you from answering the entire question, or you miss something that you were supposed to do because you have everything in your head. And a lot of times, I don't know if it was an aunt or mom, whoever told me, but they said, while the brain may fail you, pen and paper never will. So put that thing on paper, get the steps out of the way. And yes, we love mental math when we're in the classroom, when we're in the road, when we're in the streets, but please, on the SAT. We want to get all of these questions. We want to get our points. So use that Desmos calculator, okay? Use that Desmos calculator. All right, so that's number 3. Okay, now coming in at, let me put that here, mental math. Okay, there we go. Now coming in at number 2. Now this is one that I preach. I preach on this channel about this one. At number 2, not studying your errors, right? Not studying errors. Now, listen, the students who prep with us, whether that's in cohort or in one-on-one tutoring, we emphasize tracking your errors. And we've seen where the students who score in the 98th percentile, the 97th percentile, so on and so forth, these are students who listen to us and track their errors. Because what we don't want is for us to go on the exam, test day, making the same mistakes that we've been making when we were practicing. So it's going to be essential that whether you're doing practice exams on your own, just doing, test preps, whatever it is, review those questions. But don't just review those questions to see, oh, I got this one wrong. Oh, I got. Figure out, why did you get it wrong? Make a note of it and keep that as a study resource so that when it comes to test day, you know what not to do or what to watch out for on test day. So studying your errors is going to be very essential when you're preparing for the SAT, because this will also help you to really win back a lot of points if you are cognizant or if you are aware of what it is that you are doing wrong when you're studying. Okay, so definitely, I really cannot stress this enough. You really want to make sure you are studying your errors. And before I tell you what number 1 is, of course, do like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying what you're seeing on this channel, on this video, because on this channel, my sole aim is to bridge the wealth gap. And I do that in many ways. But one of the ways why you're here today is I help students build their SAT score so that they can land acceptance into your dream school, fully funded. Yes, we support scholarships. In fact, that's all we preach. And so if there's somebody you know who would benefit from this, who is prepping for the SAT, who wants to go to college debt-free, do share this video with them. And if you have access to the hype button, I hear there's a new hype button on YouTube, hype the video up so that it can go out to more people. All right, so now let's dive into number 1. So coming in at number 1, let's get a drum roll. Dun, 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 dun. So number 1, and you probably know if you've been prepping for the SAT, or really if you've been prepping for any exam, misreading. Oh my goodness, this really cost a lot of students points. Misreading the question. Do you answer a math question and you're just misreading, right? You're not looking at which of the following is not, or what is an answer except, right? Or those different things. You want to make sure you're reading the question and you're looking for what is being asked. You're not just answering the first thing you see, because sometimes students don't even read the entire question. I've seen it. Trust me. You don't want to be that person, right? And so one of the things that I usually tell students, when you're doing a question, and especially if it's a compounded question, write out what is being asked for you to solve. So for instance, it may say, solve for Q. What is the value of Q plus P? Students will only solve for Q and neglect to answer Q plus P, and do believe they're going to put the value for Q in the answer choice because they are setting traps. I don't know why, but they're setting traps for you because they know you're not reading the question carefully, you're misreading it, or you're just not reading it at all, right? So it's going to be very essential that you read carefully, highlight, because there's not Desmos, but the exam does allow you to highlight, right? So highlight what it is that you're being asked, or write it down if you have paper. All right, so let's go over the 5 things that we mentioned. Okay, the first in least to greatest, the first is not reviewing, right? And guessing. strategically, right? Guessing strategically, we talk about process of elimination, reducing your possibility of getting the question incorrect. A lot of students, poor time management, right? Because you are you're not paying attention to the time. And that's why we always tell students, when you're prepping for the SAT, you want to condition yourself, condition your body, get up at 8 a.m. on Saturdays. Okay. That is when the exams are. And I know sometimes you take it with your school, but if you're taking it outside regularly, 8 a.m., condition your body, your mind, so that you know what to expect and you can time yourself accordingly. So do not spend too long on one question. Skipping steps, because we love to do that mental math. Mental math is cool until you're losing points because of it, especially for those compounded questions that have a lot of different steps in it. Do not do mental math. Plug those things into Desmos, write it down, write down the steps so that you don't get the question incorrect. Study your errors. Students don't study their errors, and so that really affects them on test day because they don't know what they're doing wrong, and they go into test day doing the same thing, getting the questions wrong. So you want to make sure you're studying your errors before test day. And the number one reason why students miss over 100 points on the SAT is because they misread the question. Let that not be you. Let it not be you. Again, in 5, not reviewing, guessing strategically. 4, poor time management, right? 3, skipping steps and doing mental math. 2, not studying your errors. And the number 1, misreading the questions. Don't do these things, okay? Make sure you are prepping effectively, and on test day, you are at your best. So until next time, see you.